With winter fast approaching, it really sucks when your furnace bites the dust. Here are the top 5 things you can do to troubleshoot the issue yourself and save some serious cash on not calling in the professionals. Start by checking the obvious and ensure that your furnace breakers are not tripped. Another reason your furnace might not be turning on is because your filter is so dirty or clogged up. This one was changed recently, but just pull it out, check it, be sure that it's pretty transparent. If it's super gray or dark that you can barely see through it and it hasn't been changed in a long while, you might want to do that as a first step. Before opening your unit, be sure that electricity is off, as well as the gas line as an added precaution. Just turn that knob perpendicular. Before you turn off the power to your unit, take a minute and look at the bottom where you'll see a service status code update. And you'll see these status codes and the various frequencies and flashes and the corresponding problem. That might help you troubleshoot an issue that's not covered in this video. And a lot of units have this little see-through window. Mine is not throwing an error code right now, but if yours was, you would see a light intermittently blinking through that window. So you don't even have to remove the cover, and you might get some additional insight as to the problem of your furnace. Problem is, if you cut the power, it can erase the error code, and some of those error codes can be temporary. So very important to do this step before you kill the power. One of the most common issues is with a flame detector sensor, and that's going to be located near your burners here. You'll see a wire running to it. You'll want to gently remove that first. You'll also see a hex screw holding it in. So grab a screwdriver with a hex bit, just unscrew that right there, and that will allow that piece to be removed easily. The goal is to take it out and hopefully just have to clean some of the deposits on it. You might also have to replace it. If so, super cheap to replace, very easy to replace. The part's about $10 to $15 on Amazon, and I can link that part in the description. Cleaning the flame detection sensor is truly something anyone can do, and it will save hundreds of dollars on a very expensive HVAC call. All it takes is a Brillo pad just like this. And as you can see, this one is a little bit dirty with some deposits, so we're going to clean that up with some steel wool. If all you have is a paper towel, that'll do, but steel wool is better if you have that in the kitchen. Keep in mind that furnaces last around 15 to 20 years if you take care of them, and most flame sensors will need replacement after about 5 years. So if cleaning doesn't help, you might want to replace the whole thing. This part here is what actually sits in back of these burners, and that's what senses the flame. So if this end piece here is compromised in any way with cracks or a bunch of buildup, then the unit won't continue to run. You'll actually see the flames ignite for a short few seconds and then go out, and that's an indication that your flame detection sensor was the problem. Your furnace will actually try to keep lighting 3 or so more times, but then it's actually going to go into a safety lockout mode for hours. To reassemble, don't forget to reconnect the wire on the end, and luckily for most units there is only one way that this can go back in. And just be sure to match up the holes with your screw hole there, like so. And it's actually kind of fun. Just gotta finagle it a little bit, and it's almost like a puzzle piece. That right there is the piece we just cleaned. Just to give you a perspective, the flame's gonna come out there, and that is our sensor. Another thing to check for is a bad inducer motor, and this is going to be located at the top of your box here. This is the first thing that should turn on after your thermostat engages. One thing to look for is down here at the control panel with the see-through window. Check and see if it might be blinking with a pressure switch open code. As shown here, notice how it talks about the inducer motor. And that's when the furnace is not turning on whatsoever. You might hear a click, which is this control panel behind this door attempting to send power to this inducer motor, and the motor could either need replacement or there could be something stuck inside of it. One easy way to check, give it a spin, see if it spins freely. If not, it's not stuck or obstructed. You can also just feel it with your hand, and if it's really hot, that's another sign you're going to have to replace the inducer motor. By the way, most screws in your furnace are going to be a standard hex bit, and I'm just going to take off this bottom panel here to expose the control panel and the blower motor. Your blower motor is going to be located behind this bottom door adjacent to your control panel. And the key here is to troubleshoot if the underlying issue is within the control panel or the blower motor. The first thing to check for, or should I say smell for, is burnt plastic throughout the house, because here's what's happening. The burners come on, the inducer motor has been started up, and the blower motor should then turn on in about 30 to 45 seconds. That specific depends on your particular unit. But if it doesn't come on in those 30 to 45 seconds, or maybe you hear this short hum afterwards with everything else working, so you see the flames here coming on, this is spinning and active, but again, this blower motor is not coming on, that's a sign of a bad blower motor. And what's happening here is the furnace is sensing it's getting too hot and it shuts down as a safety precaution. So the furnace will then try to start up again once it cools down. And the best way to troubleshoot this and see if that's the issue is just give it a feel. Is it super hot? If you can feel that it's overheating, that means it's getting power from this control board. But if it's cold to the touch and there's no heat at all, you could have an issue within your control panel. So I'm going to briefly show you guys the order in which things start up on a furnace, just because when you're troubleshooting, if you have a basic understanding of what comes on when, it can really help you troubleshoot. So let's go and turn on the power. Ensure that this is parallel to the gas line. Just waiting for that thermostat to kick in downstairs. I just bumped it about 2 degrees above where I want it. All right, we've got our inducer motor going up here. Just wait for it. There they come. Now each system's gonna be a little different, but it's gonna be about 30 to 45 seconds later, you should hear that blower motor come on right here. There it comes. Yep, that's a blower motor. So this is the sequence, right? 1, 2, 3 for troubleshooting purposes. Notice the steady light here, no error codes as well. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing for more weekly home updates and maintenance reminders.